So let's talk chemicals, because that's one of the biggest reasons why Norwex exists. They want to help us rid our homes of toxic chemicals to make us healthier and safer. So I'm going to throw a few statistics at you. First of all, did you know that it only takes 26 seconds for something that touches your skin to enter your bloodstream? So that's really quick. Only 26 seconds for something that touches your skin to go straight into your bloodstream. Let's also talk about cancer. So a lot of people in the United States get cancer these days. It seems like it's just commonplace. And that's because it is compared to 100 years ago. So just in 1901, just a little over 100 years ago, the cancer rate was 1 in 8,000. Today in 2018, it's 1 in 3. So our cancer rate has skyrocketed. And our chemicals that we have in our environment that we're exposed to every day are a huge factor in that increase in cancer. A stay-at-home mom has a 54% higher chance of having cancer than the average person. You think about a stay-at-home mom, she's at home taking care of her home, taking care of her kids every day. She's probably cleaning on a daily basis and exposed to those chemicals. So 54% higher rate of cancer for a stay-at-home mom. Someone who cleans homes for a living, the cancer rate is 80% higher. 80% higher for someone who cleans for a living. And most of them, I'm sure, have no idea that their job is doing that to them and exposing them to such a high risk for cancer. There is a fantastic website called ewg.org, and you can go on there and you can look up pretty much any cleaning product that you use, and it will give you a score or a grade from A to F. And so it will give you specific information about how that product or the effects of that product on your health, specifically respiratory health, and it will also tell you the effects on the environment. And a lot of the products that we use in our homes in the United States score D or F on their scale. So we're really not using good things in our homes. And a lot of the things that we use in the United States have actually been banned overseas, which is even scarier. Scrubbing bubbles is something that a lot of people use in their homes and to clean their toilets. And scrubbing bubbles has actually been banned in Europe. So that's really, really scary. And a lot of these chemicals, a lot of these products that we're using are also associated with conditions like COPD, emphysema, lung cancer. And we think about those conditions, being associated with someone who's smoked for 30 years. We don't think about that but with the things that we clean with, the things that we use in our home. We assume that the things that we are using are safe because they've been put out on the shelf for us to buy. They're being marketed to us, so we assume that they're okay. But unfortunately, they're not. We can't just assume that. And a lot of people don't read labels, okay? But that's what we're about to do. So I have a container, I'm not going to show you the brand, of cleaning wipes, okay? So these are supposed to be cleaning, sanitizing wipes. So we're going to look at what it tells us to do with these wipes, okay? So first of all, there's some warning labels on there. It tells us that it can irritate our eyes. It tells us to avoid contact with eyes and clothing. It tells us to wash our hands thoroughly with soap and water after handling and before eating, drinking, chewing gum, using tobacco, or using the toilet. Okay? So if I'm using one of these cloths, I'm not supposed to eat before washing my hands. But if you use this without gloves, remember, 26 seconds is all it takes for that to be absorbed into your bloodstream. Okay? But if this was safe, then there shouldn't be an issue with me eating something or drinking something or going to the bathroom after I've touched it. It also says that if it comes in contact with your eyes, you should flush your eyes with water for 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, now can you imagine if your 2-year-old got a hold of these wipes, got something in their eyes? Can you imagine having to hold a 2-year-old's eyes open for 15 to 20 minutes to flush their eyes? Can you imagine the struggle that would be? Can you imagine if your 2-year-old put this in their mouth? It tells you to call poison control. Okay, so that right there tells me all I need to know. But a lot of people are not reading the backs of this. So that's kind of the scary part there. But let's also talk about the fact that it tells us not to put this on our skin. It tells us not to use this as a wipe for diapers or for personal cleaning. Okay, so if I'm not supposed to take one of these cloths and wipe it across my arm, then I shouldn't be touching it to clean anything. Okay, but let's also talk about the effectiveness. Okay, so it tells me to wipe the surface and to leave it wet for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Now, who does that? Who wipes a surface with one of these cloths and leaves it wet for 10 minutes? You don't have time for that, okay? You don't have time for that. Most people, they wipe it and then they go back and wipe it dry. If you're using these cloths, you may think that you're disinfecting, you may think that you're sanitizing, but all you're doing is just smearing the bacteria around and exposing yourself and your family to toxic chemicals, okay? And again, it's a lot of times people don't know. Who picks up one of these containers and reads the back of this? I never did. I was a teacher for 6 years, and this was always on the school supply list. The parents had to bring these in. My teenagers in my class cleaned the desks with these wipes every single day. I didn't know they were bad for us. I also didn't know that we were supposed to leave it sitting for 10 minutes to be effective. So it's something that most people don't know, most people are not aware of. And that's another big thing that Norwex wants to do is educate people. Because if we educate people about these chemicals, if we educate people about what it's doing to us, then we can do better. If we don't know any better, we can't do better. But now you know. So if you have any of these at home, throw them away. Don't ever use them again, and make sure that you get yourself an EnviroCloth.